All right, listen up. I'm only going to say this once. I don't care if you haven't had your coffee yet. I don't care if you're still staring at the ceiling wondering how a football can be so cool. Wake up. It is Monday morning, January 19th, 2026. And if you're a Chicago Bears fan, your heart is probably still sitting somewhere on the frozen turf at Soldier Field, shattered into a million little navy and orange pieces.
It's a heavy morning in Chicago. I mean, there's just no getting around the weight of what happened yesterday.
Heavy, man, that's putting it lightly. That is the understatement of the century. We are looking at the wreckage of a 2017 overtime loss to the Rams in the divisional round.
We were so close.
We were right there. We were knocking on the door of the NFC Championship, and then poof, gone. Season over. But I'm not here to cry about it. I'm not here to pass out tissues or, tell you there's always next year. I'm here because, honestly, I'm terrified.
Terrified is a strong word, but I think I know where you're going with this. The loss itself hurts, of course, but it's the implications of how it ended and what comes next.
Yeah.
That's what we really need to dissect.
Exactly. This isn't just, shucks, he lost a game. This feels like a massive crossroads. We are standing on the edge of a cliff here. The honeymoon phase of the Ryan Poles and Ben Johnson rebuild, that's dead. That died the second the Rams kicked that field goal. We went from 5 wins to 11 wins. Sure, we won the NFC North banner. Great. Hang it in the rafters. But now
comes the hard part.
Now comes the actual hard part. Now is when we find out if this front office built a dynasty or if they just built, like, a house of cards that looked pretty for one season.
You're right to frame it that way. I mean, with that level of urgency. The offseason, for fans, is a break. Time to recharge. But for the front office, for Ryan Poles specifically, the clock started ticking the second that game ended.
Yeah.
And I don't think this is hyperbole, this is the most critical period of his entire tenure.
It has to be.
The decisions he makes in the next few weeks, they don't just impact the 2026 season. They're going to define the entire Caleb Williams rookie contract window.
So let's just cut the pleasantries. I don't want to talk about the weather. I don't want to talk about how proud we are of the effort. We're not here for participation trophies. I want to talk about the roster.
Because when I finally stopped screaming at my television and I looked at the contract situation this morning, my jaw hit the floor. We have 3 massive headaches staring us in the face, and if we don't fix them, this defense, the one that carried us, it's just going to evaporate.
And you're referring to the secondary, I assume, the safety position.
I'm talking about a safety crisis that nobody seems to be panicking about enough.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the DJ Moore situation, which, man, we have to unpack that drama because it is ugly. And I'm talking about a severe reality check on the culture, regarding the division. So let's start with the defense. I looked at the depth chart for the safety position for the 2026 season, and do you know what number I saw? I have a feeling you're going to tell me. And I have a feeling it's a round number.
0. We have exactly 0 safeties under contract for next season. How does that happen?
It's a precarious position, no doubt.
How does a general manager let that happen? Kevin Barta, free agent. Jaquan Brisker, free agent. Jonathan Owens, Elijah Hicks, all free agents. Ryan Poles let the entire backbone of our secondary play out their deals without an extension. How do you let the season end without locking somebody up?
It's rare. I mean, in the modern NFL, to see an entire position group hit the market simultaneously like this, it's almost unheard of. It puts the Bears in a position of well-leveraged disadvantage. Every agent knows they're desperate. But let's look at the pieces individually because the context for Byard and Brisker is very different.
Okay, let's start with Kevin Byard. The guy is 32 years old. When we traded for him, everyone said he was wash.
Right, he's lost his step.
Yeah, the Eagles didn't want him, the Titans let him go, he's done. And what does he do? He goes out and leads the entire NFL in interceptions. 7 picks in the regular season.
That statistic is just. It's remarkable. Leading the league in picks at age 32 is not something you see. Safeties usually lose that top-end range by that age.
Yeah.
But Byard, he compensated with just elite anticipation and earning an all-pro selection, the 3rd of his career.
Yeah.
That validates it. It wasn't luck.
Yeah.
He was consistently in the right place. He wasn't just playing safety. He was playing quarterback for the defense.
He was the brain of the whole operation. And the narrative matters here, right? He came to Chicago specifically to prove the doubters wrong. He said he wanted to show he was still elite. mission accomplished.
Absolutely. He proved it.
But now he's sitting there without a deal, and what kills me is the leadership aspect.
Right. And Biard has been very vocal about his desire to stay. He's mentioned how much he loves the locker room, how he enjoys that leadership role, breaking down the huddles, mentoring the younger corners like Tyreek Stevenson.
He bought in.
He has bought into the Chicago way.
He bleeds navy and orange now. He wants to be here. So why hasn't Poles handed him a blank check yet? Why are we even talking about this?
Because Biard also said something else that was really crucial in his exit interviews. He said that while the organization has to do what's best for the team, he has to do what's best for his family.
Oh, man.
He knows this is likely his last chance for a really significant contract. So if the Bears try to lowball him because of his age, thinking they can get that hometown discount,
You know what else will pay him?
31 other teams just watched him play at an all-pro level. Someone is going to pay him real money.
And that scares me to death. If we lose him, who replaces that production, that football IQ? You can't just draft a rookie and expect him to read coverages like a 10-year vet. But then you look at the other side of the field, Jaquan Brisker.
The complete opposite.
The total opposite of Biard style-wise, but just as important.
Correct. If Biard is the ball hawk, Brisker is the hammer. And if you want to talk about proving it, I mean, just look at Brisker's performance in that loss to the Rams. He was arguably the best player on the field for either team.
He was a monster. I was watching him fly around that field like he was shot out of a cannon. The stat sheet says 14 tackles. That is double what any other Bear had in that game.
It's an incredible number for a safety.
14 tackles. That's insane activity.
And it wasn't just volume tackling either. It was impact plays. He had a sack, a TFL, 2 passes defended. In that second half, when the Bears started running those blitz packages with Brisker and Kyler Gordon,
They didn't know what to do.
the Rams' offense looked genuinely confused. They stalled out repeatedly because of the chaos Brisker creates near the line of scrimmage. He just disrupts the timing of the entire offense.
He's 25 years old. He's just entering his prime. He's physical. He sets the tone. He hits like a truck. In my mind, you pay the young guy, right? You build around the 25-year-old.
In a vacuum, yes, that's the logical move. But we can't ignore the medical history. That's the elephant in the room with Brisker.
The concussion.
3 concussions in 3 seasons. That is a significant red flag for any front office. Yes, he finished this year healthy. He played a full slate, which is huge for his value. But when you're about to commit multi-year guaranteed money to a player whose game is based on violent collisions, that history matters. The durability concern is very real.
It's a gamble. I get it. But letting him walk feels like, okay, do you remember 2018? Please tell me you remember the nightmare of the 2018 offseason.
The Adrian Amos situation, it's the parallel everyone is drawing right now.
It's the Adrian Amos situation. We had historic defense. We won the division. And then we had to choose between Adrian Amos and Eddie Jackson. We picked Jackson. We let Amos walk up north to Green Bay.
And he haunted the Bears for years.
Taunted us. He was solid, reliable, and he beat us repeatedly. I repeat, I cannot watch Jaquan Brisker go to the Lions or the Packers and blow up Caleb Williams for the next 5 years. The thought of Brisker in a Lions jersey makes me want to throw up.
The parallel is striking. You have an identity-defining defense, and you risk dismantling it over money. But we do have to address the financial reality, the so what for yourself, of this whole discussion. The salary cap is real.
Don't tell me we're broke. We've got space. I've seen the charts.
We have space now, but Ryan Poles operates with a long-term view. I mean, look at the offensive core. Caleb Williams is going to need a market-setting extension eventually.
Naturally, yeah.
That's going to be, what, $60 million a year? Minimum. Then you have Roma Dunze, Luther Burden, even Colston Loveland is emerging as a star tight end who will command top dollar. You can't pay everyone top of the market money. The pie is only so big.
So what are you saying? We have to choose. We have to pick one favorite child.
I'm saying it's very likely you can't keep both Biard and Brisker at their market value without crippling your ability to pay your offensive stars later. So here's the question for you. Do you keep the 33-year-old All-Pro who guarantees you turnovers but might hit a cliff tomorrow? Or do you keep the 25-year-old physical enforcer who sets the tone but carries that injury risk?
Man, that is brutal. My heart says keep both, figure out the money later, kick the can down the road. But my gut tells me Poles is going to try to be smart, and maybe he loses both. And that brings me to the other side of the ball. Because if we're talking about difficult decisions and money, we have to talk about the receiver room. We have to talk about the drama.
You're talking about DJ Moore.
I'm talking about DJ Moore. This situation has me so frustrated I can barely speak. We go from safety crisis to receiver drama in the span of one drive.
It certainly shifted the narrative, and quickly. For most of this season, DJ Moore was the hero. He was the most reliable weapon we had.
0 to 0 in about 10 seconds of game time. Let's set the scene for the listeners who might have blocked out from rage. Overtime. We have the ball. Touchdown wins it.
Critical strike.
And then the play happens.
It was a breakdown in communication, fundamentally.
Yeah.
But it looks worse than that on tape. Caleb Williams read the safety's leverage. The Rams were in a split safety look. And in that coverage, the receiver is supposed to flatten the route, basically cut it short and horizontal to find the soft spot in the zone. That's the textbook adjustment. Caleb threw to the spot where Moore was supposed to be.
And Moore, what did Moore do?
He went over the top. He ran the vertical route right into double coverage. But what makes it controversial isn't just the wrong route. It was the effort. If you watch the All-22 tape,
Oh, I've watched it.
Moore appeared to be,
Yeah.
well, trotting is the word some analysts are using. He seemed to give up on the play before the ball even arrived. He didn't run through the route.
He gave up in overtime, in the playoffs. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're Jerry Rice. You do not jog in overtime of a playoff game. Caleb throws the pick because he expects his guy to be there. The Rams get the ball, kick the field goal, season over. DJ Moore's lack of effort literally ended our season. That is unforgivable in this town.
It's a harsh assessment, but it's difficult to argue against when you see the footage. The interception led directly to the loss. But the controversy didn't end on the field, did it?
No, it got worse. So, game ends. Media goes into the locker room. Reporters are looking for DJ Moore. They want to ask him, hey, what happened on that route? And guess what? He's gone. Poof. Vanished.
According to the reports, specifically from Eldo Gandia at Barroom Network, Moore was just not present during the mandatory media availability.
And let's be clear, he wasn't in the medical tent. He wasn't in concussion protocol. If you're hurt, you get a pass. He wasn't hurt. He just bailed. He left his teammates to answer the questions. He left Caleb Williams, a 23-year-old kid, to stand there and take the heat while he slipped out the back door. That is weak. That is not Chicago.
It's a violation of league policy. For one, he's facing a significant fine from the NFL for that. But beyond the money, it's the optics. In a city that values that blue-collar, accountable ethos, hiding from the media after a critical error, it's a major character strike.
Exactly. So now the town's divided. Half the fans are burning his jersey. The other half are remembering the good times.
And there were good times. We have to be balanced here to understand the dilemma. DJ Moore was the hero against Green Bay twice.
He was.
He had that incredible 46-yard catch in overtime back in December that saved a game. He caught the game-winning touchdown in the wildcard round. He was the second leading receiver on the team behind Loveland. He produced. He's still a very good football player.
Sure, he produced. But he's turning 30 next season. And looking at this roster, do we need him? Is he essential anymore?
And that is the strategic question Ryan Poles has to answer. The wide receiver room is suddenly very crowded.
It's overflowing. Look at the talent we have waiting. Rome Odunze, he was on track to be WR1 before that foot stress fracture. He's coming back healthy. Luther Burden III is a stick of dynamite waiting to explode. The kid is electric.
Yeah.
And Colston Loveland at tight end is basically a receiver. These guys are young, they're hungry, and they need targets.
And they're cheaper for now. There's a famous philosophy in team building, often attributed to the Patriots or the Ravens.
Yeah.
It is better to trade a player a year too early than a year too late.
Is this that moment for DJ Moore?
It might be. He's about to turn 30. His value is still relatively high because of his production this year. If you trade him now, you recoup draft capital. A second-round pick, maybe more. You save cap space. You clear the runway for Odunze and Burton to take over. If you wait another year and his production dips or he loses a step, you get nothing.
And we need that capital. We just spent 10 minutes talking about how we have no safeties. Imagine if we trade DJ Moore, get a draft pick, free up money, and use that cash to sign Kevin Byard and Jaquan Brisker. Isn't that a better balanced team?
It's a compelling argument. You sacrifice a veteran receiver to save your defensive identity and let the young guns on offense take the wheel. It puts a lot of pressure on Odunze and Burton to step up immediately, but they have the pedigree. It changes the team's identity.
I'm telling you, the more I think about it, the more I think Moore played his last down as a Bear. The jogging, the hiding, the age, it feels like the writing is on the wall. But hey, speaking of writing on the wall, we need to talk about the guy leading this ship. Because amidst all this player drama, Ben Johnson did something after the game that, well, it stopped me in my tracks.
It was a moment of pure class, wasn't it?
It really was. Game ends. Heartbreak City. Ben Johnson walks to midfield to shake Sean McVay's hand. And he doesn't just do the quick, good game mumble. He looks McVay in the eye and says, go win one.
Go win one. Immediately after your season ends in the most painful way possible. That speaks volumes about Ben Johnson's character, his security in his own position. He isn't bitter.
And the players see that. We went from 5 wins to 11 wins. NFC North champions, first playoff win in 15 years. You have to give Johnson credit. He changed the whole vibe.
He did. Comparing this to the Matt Nagy era, which felt frantic, or the John Fox era, which was stagnant, or, dare I say it, the Mark Trestman era, this feels completely different. There's a genuine belief in that locker room. Johnson called the group special in his press conference. He talked about using this loss as fuel. That isn't just coach speak. You can see the players buying into it.
Fuel. I like that. I want them angry. But then Cole Kmet came out and dumped a bucket of ice water on everyone's head.
Kmet provided the necessary reality check. While Johnson was praising the culture, Kmet was looking at the cold, hard facts of the division.
Yeah, Kmet said it's wishful thinking to assume we'll just be back next year. And then he dropped the stat that keeps me up at night. The stat that proves we might be frauds. We went 2-4 in the division.
That is the statistic that matters most. The Bears won the NFC North, yes. But they did it with a losing record against the North. They lost to the Packers. They lost to the Lions. They lost to the Vikings. They won the tiebreakers and beat up on the rest of the schedule, but they did not dominate their rivals.
That's terrifying because the Lions are in the Super Bowl right now. The Packers are always the Packers. The Vikings are tough. We aren't the Hunters anymore, are we?
No. The Bears have a target on their back now. They're the division champs. They won't catch anyone by surprise in 2026. The schedule will be harder. The rivals will be motivated. Kmet is exactly right. Thinking that 11 wins just happens again is dangerous. If the Bears play at the exact same level next year, they might only win 7 or 8 games.
So the honeymoon is definitely over. We have to actually be better than we were this year just to get the same result. But I do want to touch on one more thing before we wrap. Caleb Williams.
His reaction to the loss was notable.
I felt like I let the team down. That's what he said. No excuses. No blaming the route. No blaming the defense. He took it on the chin.
For a 23-year-old in his second season, that is exactly what you want to hear. He owns it. And that accountability, combined with Ben Johnson's leadership, that's the foundation. But as we've discussed, a foundation needs walls and a roof. And right now, the roof, the safety position, is missing, and one of the walls, DJ Moore, might be moving out.
It's a mess. A beautiful, tragic, stressful mess.
So let's recap the board for the listener. Ryan Poles is staring at a safety room with 0 contracts. He has a decision on a 33-year-old All-Pro and a 25-year-old enforcer with a concussion history. He has a star receiver who made a critical error, ghosted the media, and is blocking the pass for younger, cheaper talent. And he has to navigate all of this knowing the NFC North is going to be an absolute gauntlet next year.
When you put it like that, I do not envy Ryan Poles' job this month. That is a lot of pressure, but we're the ones watching. We're the ones buying the tickets, so I'm going to put the question to you listening right now.
It's the ultimate off-season ultimatum.
Exactly. Here's the choice, and I want you to really think about it. Do you keep the veteran safeties? Do you pay Biard and Brisker and sacrifice the offense by trading DJ Moore? Or do you let the defense walk to keep the receiver room intact? Do you trade the guy who quit on a route to save the guys who hit everything that moves?
It comes down to identity, really. Are the Bears a defensive team that grinds you down, or are they pivoting to an offensive juggernaut led by Caleb Williams? You can't be everything in the salary cap era.
That's the question. And I want you to think about it, because this offseason isn't just about contracts. It's about who we are. Are we the monsters of the Midway? Or are we something else?
The decisions made the next few weeks will answer that question definitively.
They sure will. Look, the loss hurts. I know it does. But the offseason is where championships are actually won. The games are just the ceremony. The work starts now. Ryan Poles, Ben Johnson, the clock is ticking.
Indeed. It's going to be a fascinating few months.
So buckle up, Chicago. It's going to be a bumpy ride, but we aren't going anywhere. Keep your head up. Bear down, Chicago.